everyone. This is Tia and Tarot in the trailer again. We're back in the trailer. It started off in a trailer a year ago and then it ended up in my living room over the winter. Every 2 weeks I go to the oracle cards to find out what's happening in our lives and on the planet. And even the older episodes are still relevant though, and you can access those through my Instagram or through my website, circleoflightwellness.com. Just look for the Tia and Tarot link. Just to let you know, I go to the cards in a general way, kind of themes for all of us. So if you want a specific card reading, I do personal one-on-one sessions, or what you can do for this is you can set the intention if there's any questions that you have or anything that you want to know more about, and put that out there to the universe, and then hopefully your question will be answered. So I've got a lot of decks today. I've got a lot of new decks, and I'm always opening decks. And unfortunately, I use the Tea and Tarot as an excuse to just crack one more open. But I think we're going to start with, I don't know if I've used this one before. It's the Enchanted Map by Colette Baron Reid. And it's a beautiful deck. And so we will jump in with this one and see what's going on. All right. Okay. And someone's asking how old I am. I'm not going to say, but I'm probably old enough to be your mother. All right, so I got Spirit of Place. It's a really beautiful card. It actually looks like fall, a little bit of fall colors happening there. But to me, this card represents us waking up after the long cold winter and just dusting off that dust or any debris, and connecting to our energy and our creativity and get that going again, because it has been a long winter for a lot of reasons for a lot of us. And so this is about really embracing the energy of spring and really connecting to that creativity and connecting to that movement. And if you still feel like you're a little bit stuck in the energy of winter, like if you're still feeling kind of like, like you just are having trouble to get going, or you feel really sluggish in your body, or you feel like just your energy is low and you're not feeling 100%, my advice is to start spending some time outside. Like, don't put pressure on yourself to do your yard work or anything like that, but just go for a walk, get into nature, hang out in your backyard, sit out on your balcony or your patio, and just breathe in that new air, that new energy of spring, and let it recharge you. And for some of us, it might be a slow recharge, but that's okay. But just allow that new energy to start to move into your body. And the way that we welcome new energy and healing energy is through the breath. And I'm a terrible breather. I'll be the first one to admit that, which I think is why I love yoga so much, because it forces me to breathe. And also exercise does too, or you'll fall over and die if you stop breathing. So do whatever you need to do to connect to your breath. And maybe that's doing a guided meditation or a guided breathing exercise, or simply just walking up a steep hill. But allow that energy of spring to start to move into your body, start to move into your physical body. And then you'll find your mental, emotional body will start to feel lighter, and you'll start to feel a little more like you want to do stuff. Because even though it's spring and the weather's beautiful, I've had a few clients lately that have been, having a hard time with the energy, and also being in another lockdown, just mentally, emotionally, that's really hard in our area. So do whatever you need to do for self-care right now, but definitely make an effort to get outside, because it really, really does help. Okay, so we're going to go to our Spirit Animal Oracle card deck, which is, you all know, is one of my favorite decks. Again, Colette Baron Reid. This morning is not sponsored by her, but she just has some really great decks that I am enjoying lately. All right. Okay, this one's calling out Vulture. Interesting. I have a story about Vulture. So Vulture's kind of a scary looking bird, right? I mean, I did a meditation once and Vulture came really big, like bigger than me, and kind of quite a menacing bird, especially in that size. And I didn't really know a lot about Vulture at that time and didn't understand what it meant for me, but when I looked it up later, it made a lot of sense. Vulture's about so many things, but it is about taking what you have, like the debris of the things in your life, like the refuse, the garbage, the things you no longer need, and turning it into something that's amazing. So it's like literally the card about turning your lemons into lemonade, or looking at all of your past stuff, and we've all gone through things, we've all had experiences, but you don't have to drag it all forward into your future with you. It's about transforming any experiences you've had that have maybe been less than positive, and transforming them and bringing that wisdom forward, bringing that new fresh energy forward to create something new. So it's about acknowledging your past and taking what works for you from it and leaving the rest behind. It's also about that transforming, almost what happens in nature in the fall, where all the plants die and then fertilize the new plants that are coming. And now we're in spring, that time of new growth. So think about what's fertilizing that new growth. Well, it's probably the experiences you had in the past, the ones that worked, the ones that didn't. But every cycle we make different choices. We get a little wiser, we learn more. And so Vulture is asking us to look at that and not to discard everything, because sometimes there might be something that we think isn't useful or is garbage, or we just want to leave it all. And Vulture is saying, no, look, because there might be a few little diamonds in that pile of mud that you want to bring forward with you. So this is about, before throwing all your stuff to the curb with your spring cleaning, there might be a couple things that you need to keep, that you need to save. So Vulture is asking us to not discard everything from our past. Some of it is relevant, but to only bring the positive forward with you, the things that can serve you. Okay? All right, so let's go to the Work Your Light deck, which is another favorite of mine lately. And what else do I have to say about things coming up? I think nothing much. But I am doing Wednesday 3 cards also in my Instagram feed for you to choose whatever one resonates with you. I'm going to try to do that every week. All right, so this is the Work Your Light deck. It's a really beautiful deck. Oh, 2 cards stuck together. So we got a 2-for-1 today. We're going to read both of them. Inner Temple and Don't Dim to Fit In. Really interesting. I was talking about this Don't Dim to Fit In my Reiki class that I was teaching on the weekend, because oftentimes when things are going good in our life and we're really happy and we're sort of shining our light really brightly, and we think all the people in our lives are going to be so excited for us and celebrate us and be like, yay, you. And instead we get this weird energy of like, ugh. And it's because sometimes it triggers people's stuff. If you shine a little too bright, it can trigger people because maybe they're not doing things that they really want to do and you're doing them and they're not. And then they get mad at themselves for not doing it. And instead of seeing you as an inspiration in their life, they just want to avoid you because you end up becoming a reflection of what they're not doing. So I also told the story about how when we're trying to create something in our life, it can feel like we're surrounded by people doing the thing we want to do. And it can be really frustrating. And I used a story about how, like, I had a client that was pregnant and was surrounded by people that were pregnant and was getting really upset and frustrated by it because she was like, well, this is never going to happen for me and the universe is torturing me. And I tried to explain to her that this means it's getting close to you. When you're surrounded by people that are doing the things that you want to do or having the things that you want to have, it's the universe telling you that you're next and it's coming to you. So imagine how that shifts the perspective, right? Instead of thinking the universe is torturing you by taunting you with things around you and thinking, no, I'm next. Like, that totally shifts your energy. So don't dim your light to fit in. Don't dim your light to make other people comfortable. It takes a lot of courage to shine your light knowing that people are going to hate you because of it, but it doesn't matter, because the more you do it, you literally will remind other people to do it. And we all need to be shining brightly right now. Okay? There's too much of this trying to fit in, trying to censor yourself, trying to be someone you're not. Honestly, we need to have more courage about being ourselves and speaking our truth. It's really unhealthy for your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual body when you censor yourself and when you pretend to be someone you're not. Okay, it actually affects your health over the long term. So we really need to find the courage to do that. And if somebody gets upset about it, hopefully it's only temporary, and that you can maybe help them or guide them to get to the place where you are, where they want to be. Because we all on the planet, we all want to be happy. We all want the same thing. We want to live a happy, fulfilled life. It's just we all want to do it in different ways. We're all different. We all love different things. Like, I'm obsessed with vintage trailers. I'm sure not all of you are, as well as tarot cards and crystals and all that weird stuff. It's not everybody's, cup of tea. So we all love different things. We're all interested in different things. We need to embrace that. Now, the other card that came up that was stuck on that one that I'm going to talk about too is an inner temple card, and this is about going into your center, into your core, into your heart. And this came up 2 weeks ago as well, that it's really important. That's the place that you want to create from, okay? It's really easy in this world to get distracted with all the people, places, things, times, and events happening around us, social media, looking at other people's lives, looking at all the things that are happening. It's really easy to get pulled out of your center and distracted. But that is the key to finding out your joy and happiness, is to take time every day to go inside that place, wherever it is in your body, and connect to it. We spend so many hours of our day disconnected from ourselves. And imagine yourself like a little child, like a 4-year-old child. Would you ignore a 4-year-old child all day long? Like, that's really mean, right? And that 4-year-old's trying to get your attention all day, and you're like, later, I'm busy. I don't want to talk to you, go away. And that's what we do to our body. We do in our spirit, we do that every day. So just meditation, it doesn't have to be a formal meditation. You can go for a walk and have a walking meditation or a run or something. You can wash your dishes and be in a meditative state of mind. It's all about being present, connecting to yourself, giving yourself that love that you so desperately want and need, and just notice what happens, because your body will start to heal. Like, real miracles will happen when you do that. So my homework I'm giving all of you for the next 2 weeks is to take some time, even if it's just 5 minutes a day while you're brushing your teeth. Go inside, talk to yourself, be like, hey, what's happening? What do you need from me? Like you're having a conversation with a person. You can talk to your body in that way. It's especially helpful if you have any kind of chronic illness or imbalance going on that just won't go away. Our bodies have a tendency to hang on to things until it passes a message on or information on to us. So the sooner you can get talking to your inner parts of yourself, the sooner your body can start to heal and move on from whatever it's struggling with. So homework for everybody, all of you, for the next 2 weeks is to connect to yourself in whatever way feels good for you. So it might be journaling, it might be meditation, it might just be having a conversation with yourself. It could be being in nature, putting some nice music on, getting creative, whatever works for you. But take some time to do that, because it's very rich, like the information that will come forward, and very helpful as well. Okay? All right, let's go to our Universal Love deck. This is an old favorite of mine. Some decks come and go, but this deck is never going to go. It's with me for life. So that's what it looks like. This is the card that's coming forward, Emergence. Again, with the energy of spring. We really do follow it seasonally. We really do follow the cycles, even if you live somewhere where you might not have the temperature change or the seasonal changes that some of us do in other parts of the world, but we still do follow a seasonal cycle. It's connected to our energy. It's connected to our intuition. And the Emergence card is coming up here, and there's a lot of yellow, which is our joy and our passion for doing and creating and what we offer to the world. It's why we're on the planet. It's what we're here to do. It's our soul path, all of that stuff. We're emerging. We're coming into that energy. So this is wonderful news for those of you who've been really struggling with finding your path, or really struggling with taking those next steps into the future of what you want to create in your life. Now is the time. We are in the energy of this, okay? So I know in my local area we're in lockdown and we're limited again, but use this creative time, use this supportive energy to get things building, start creating them, even if you can't launch them or interact with people with them. Now is the time you really want to be working with this energy and make the most of it. So really connect to that creativity, maybe do some journaling or some other way to connect to your soul energy and help bring that through as well. You can ask questions about, what is it you're here to do? And here's, honestly, the greatest hack for that, because that's one of the biggest questions I get doing one-on-one sessions with people is, am I on my soul path? How do I know I'm on my soul path? What am I here to do on the planet? Why did I come back here? It's always connected to your joy, okay? You will feel so excited and so passionate about the thing. you know you're on the right track. You're not going to feel bored. It's not going to feel like a chore. There might be some fear involved. There might be a little bit of fear that you need to overcome to get where you need to go. But it's not going to be paralyzing fear, and it's not going to be anything that puts you in harm's way. There's going to be a drive or a pull or an inspiring feeling or a love of something that's going to be the thing. So you're just going to want to learn more about it or surround yourself with it. So really trust that feeling that's coming from your soul. When we have a lot of boredom in our lives, when we feel like, oh God, if I have to do that thing one more time, I'm going to drive into the river kind of thing. When we're extremely bored, that's a sign from our soul that we've done that a lot, like so many times. We don't need to keep doing it, okay? So extreme boredom is a sign that you're done with something. It's time to either evolve it or move on from it onto something else. Now, this isn't an excuse to start discarding all the people and things in your life. Like, you can't just quit your job and leave your marriage in one day because you're bored. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but start by changing little things first before making huge choices. But boredom is a sign that you're done with something. And so it's time to refresh it, evolve it, recreate it, or discard it and let it go. And then allow the space to come for the new things that are coming. So the emergence card is telling us to make the most of the spring energy. It's coming. It's affecting all of us, and we can ride that wave. So it's go time for creating stuff and getting it out there and connecting to people and connecting to that passion that's within you. All right. Okay. So let's move on to the next deck. We'll draw into this one here, and I forget what this one is called. For the life of me. Okay, here it is. Nope, I don't know. I think it's the spirit or no, spell casting. Oh gosh. Anyway, I'm like, what is this deck called? All right. Okay, so I pulled the fertility card, and that is also about creation, and it's also about fertility. So some of you might be thinking of starting a family, or you've been trying to start a family for a while. This is the time, okay? This is the time to create new things, whether it's actual children or new things in your life, buying that house, getting married, like planning your family, new projects, new businesses, all of that stuff, new creations. We are in the energy of this right now. And it's also spring, and we are in the energy of that anyway. But Spirit is saying we're in that energy in a huge way. So we're in the energy of spring, which supports that. And then we have an extra boost of that as well. So really, it's sort of like that is similar to the message we just had, but kind of like shouting at us, like, get creative, connect to your gifts. Now's the time to like really like create and launch things and make those changes you need to make to get onto your soul path. And like I said before, you'll know you're on it because you'll have that joy, you'll have that passion, you'll have that excitement. Okay? So now we're going to go to the Starseed Oracle deck for our next card. And for those who are new to TN Tarot, just to let you know, every 2 weeks I go to the Oracle cards for messages for us in a general way, like general themes for the next 2 weeks, as well as some of the energy that's happening worldwide. And some of the past episodes are still relevant. You can access them on Instagram. And then I do also do individual readings. So if some of you have tuned in and you want more of a one-on-one session with me, of personal questions, you can book through the link in my bio. I am still doing one-on-one sessions. So this card that's coming up here is about shifting into a new frequency, which is a lot of, that's kind of what's happening on the earth right now, which is why things are so chaotic and almost disastrous looking sometimes. For those who are familiar with the traditional tarot, the Tower card has a burning building in it with everybody jumping out of the building, and it looks really awful. Like when that card comes up in a spread, people are always like, oh my God, like looks like the end of the world. And it's the destruction of everything, and it can feel like the destruction of everything we love and everything we know, and that can be really scary and really ungrounding and, just scary stuff because we don't know what's happening. But in order for new things to be built, we have to raise that old stuff to the ground. So imagine you buy a property, it's got an old house on it that's falling apart, and you want to build a new beautiful house. You're going to need to tear the old one down. And you're not going to focus all your energy on looking at the junk on the ground. You're going to clear that away. You're going to be looking at your plans for the new beautiful house you're building, and you're going to be really excited about that. And this card is asking us to do that. It's like, don't look at the disaster that's happening in the world right now. Because if you look at it too much, you're going to feed the energy of disaster. You need to look at and put your energy on the future you want to create for yourself. And it's not always easy to do that when there's so much disaster and everyone's saying, look at the disaster, look at the disaster. And you're like, I just want to build my new thing over here. Because if we can all focus on the world that we want to create and the beautiful things that we're creating to support the earth, then that will come to that faster. The more we look at the disastrous things, the more energy we give them, the more fuel to the fire kind of thing, and it just drags it out longer. If you think of your third eye as a flashlight or a headlamp, pardon me, whatever you look at expands. Whatever you look at, you are voting for, you are putting your energy on, you are investing in. It's like you've got your money and you're putting it into the thing you're looking at. So when you think of it that way, how many of the things you're looking at or how many of the things you've been putting attention on are maybe not what you want to create? But start thinking about it like that. It's like you're ordering it from Amazon. It's going to arrive on your porch, what you're thinking of. So you want to put your focus and your energy and your intuition on visualizing and creating the positive things you want to have happen in the future. And if we could all do that for just a moment of just a day, we could really shift things in a huge way. Okay, so start thinking that way. Wherever your focus is, wherever your attention is, you're investing in that. You're buying that. Okay, so you want to be a little more careful with where you're putting your time and your energy and your attention. All right. Oh, sorry, Loretta, here you go. It's that gateway there. That's where we're moving to. We're moving into a higher frequency. We're moving into a clearer, more refined energy. We are moving into a place where we can create our reality more easily, but when we do that, we have to be very aware of what we're creating. So what's happening right now is we're being asked to really be discerning with where we're putting our time and our energy and our focus right now. And it's really easy to have your mind wander into negative things, absolutely, especially when you're surrounded by negativity. It's hard to pull yourself out of it. But just think of that, your third eye, whatever you're looking at, whatever you're focusing on, you are investing in. It's like you're putting your money on it. You want more of it. And if that's not the case, then you need to change what you're looking at. My oldest son, when he was little, used to call this the TV screen in his head. I'm like, how did you know that? Oh, I saw it on the TV screen in my head. That third eye, that intuitive center. So we want to put stuff in front of it that we want to create. So imagine that your life is a movie and you're creating it. You want to create the movie trailer that represents the movie you want to have in your life. So if you want to have a horror movie, I mean, that's your choice, but you have a choice, right? And so I know it's hard to believe we have a choice sometimes, but Spirit's saying to us, like, take responsibility, take more control. Your thoughts, your actions, the words that come out of your mouth, everything you're putting your energy on, you're creating. So if you don't like the end result, you need to shift this, okay? So just try that for the next 2 weeks, even if it's for a small, easy thing, because it's hard to like overhaul our lives completely, right? We have thought patterns we're born with, and you know, you're not going to just break free of all of that in one day, and well, that would be miraculous. But start with little things, start with little easy things. Maybe it's like you're not going to complain anymore, or you're going to limit your complaining to 10 minutes a day and get it all out of your system. You know, maybe you can't control your thoughts, but you can control the words that are coming out of your mouth, and you're going to speak about yourself in a more loving way and to other people in a more loving way, even if you're not thinking that yet. So just try, just little baby steps, but it will make a huge difference in your life, and then that will give you the momentum to continue it. Okay, so we all have to start somewhere, and Spirit's saying to us, be aware. We are creating, we are powerful creators, and whatever we're focusing on is expanding all the time. So let's stop focusing on the Tower card, everybody, and focus on like beautiful, wonderful things. I just have to reach for my next deck here. In such a little space. I'll give you guys a tour at the very end so you can see. It's kind of bare bones trailer right now, but I have plans for it. But I'll show you at least what it looks like now so you can see the transformation over the next few months. All right, this card here, it's like Birth of Angel card. And this, again, is that same energy. We're being asked by Spirit, like, what are you creating? And some of you might be like, God, Kerri, I don't know what I'm creating. I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow. You want me to think about my life? Like, oh, geez, that's heavy duty. Well, yeah, you have to, because think about this. We're in spring right now, right? All the plants are going to pop up and grow beautiful flowers and, you know, all that stuff's happening. None of that would happen if those plants didn't dream about that over the winter. The plants are working on themselves all winter long, dreaming about the plant they're going to become in the spring and how they're going to grow and have another branch and another flower and another leaf. They're busy all winter doing that to create themselves in the spring. So if we stop dreaming and stop focusing and stop thinking about what we're going to do down the road, we're going to find like nothing happens in our life. And things are always happening in our life because we're always thinking and our thoughts are always manifesting. So it's just choosing the thoughts. You know, you might be great at manifesting. Maybe you're great at manifesting disaster in your life. So that's good, because then you just need to shift your focus. And by doing that, you're going to notice a change in your life really, really quickly. I can say in my past, I was very good at creating disaster. I've had a lot of crazy things happen. That's a story for another day. I could probably write like 4 books just with what's happened in my life up to now on the planet. But Spirit is asking us to consider what we're creating and to get into that creative energy and really like start going for your dreams, you guys. Like, stop putting them on the back burner. I don't care if you're 12 years old or like 95. Like, start doing it, okay? Start doing it. Even if you screw up, who cares? The more you screw up, the more you learn. Some of the people, like if you think of success as people with tons of money, some of the people with the most money on the planet have lost it so many times, have gone bankrupt, and all that's happened is they've just overcome the fear of losing it. So they don't care. They'll take risks. They see it as a fun game, and it really is. But some of us are not that adventurous with our finances, and that's okay. But we still need to stop living such a hesitant life, okay? You can go for it a little bit here. You know, you don't have to change everything, but maybe just take a chance on something. Like, take a chance on yourself. Take a chance on that business idea. Take a chance on, you know, doing something crazy, like moving or starting something new. If it doesn't work out, you can always come back. Or maybe it's just a short-lived thing, and that's okay. But at least do something. Because some of you are really frustrated, really bored, and really depressed right now, and it's because you feel stuck. And yes, there might be outside forces that have you stuck, but there's always something you can do within it, okay? When I was home with 3 kids under the age of 3, I felt stuck, but I still managed to live my life. You know, I started taking groups on trips around the world because I wanted to travel, and, you know, I loved traveling, and it was easy for me to travel, so I brought people with me who maybe didn't want to travel on their own. And it was a way for me to then travel and also it be part of my business. Like, there's always a solution. So for me, I'm always like, I want to do this thing. I don't have the money for it. How can I figure it out? And that's made me get creative. So, like, it's true that necessity is the mother of invention. Like, you will find a way. If you're passionate enough about it or really want to do it, you will find a way. So don't give up on it. We all give up too soon. Sometimes we're almost there and then we give up. So just keep plowing through. Be stubborn. And be like, I'm going to go for this until it happens. And it will happen. It will happen. People that I know that are successful in business and in life are the people that are too stubborn to give up. They will not give up. They just keep plugging away. Whether they're going inches forward or miles at a time, they don't give up on their dream. And if you're giving up on your dreams, then guess what? They're not your dreams because you're not passionate enough about it to hold steady. Okay? Fear is another reason why people give up on their dreams. And if that's what's happening with you, then find a way to push through it. And if you can't, that's when you hire a holistic healer to help you. Okay, someone like me, there's a million of us out there. You hire someone to help you shift through your fear so that it doesn't prevent you from living your best life. Because this is your life. We're supposed to enjoy it. You know? I know there can be crappy things, but ultimately, we're here to enjoy it. Sorry, I was talking down to go for my other deck. Okay, this is a new deck to me. It's called the Super Attractor deck. So it's mostly words on the deck. So we're just going to pull one of these for fun, because that's what we do. We do it for fun. Okay. When I truly surrender my desires to the universe, a mighty force of faith can set in. Right? Ask for help. Ask your spirit guides and angels that are around you for help. Write down your wishes and dreams. It's really great to journal them. Journal them. Write them down and say to the universe, this is really big stuff. I've got some really big dreams here. They're outrageous. Like, I don't know how I'm going to manifest these. I need some help. So if whatever's for my highest and best good, just jump on in here and help me with it. And you know what? As soon as you ask Spirit for help, guess what happens? They help you. They can't interfere with your reality without your permission. So you have to ask for help. You have to pray. You have to surrender yourself. You have to ask that higher power. And why wouldn't you? Because we're down here like ants in a maze. We can't see the big picture all the time. Spirit can. So ask for help. And, you know, if you need help with motivation, maybe you're like, oh, Kerri's telling me to get creative and do all this stuff, and I just want to stay in my pajamas and never leave my house again. Well, then ask for help with getting motivated. Ask for help with finding the energy. Ask for help with getting the clarity. You don't have to do this on your own. Okay, if you're trying to do this on your own, that's fine, but it's hard. It's really hard. You don't have to do it on your own. You've got a whole team of spirit just waiting in the wings, ready to help you. Believe me, they've been waiting. They've been watching your life like some kind of weird reality TV show. If it's anything like my spirit guides, they're probably like doing this a lot and drinking. The popcorn turned into let's just get the whiskey out because she's doing it again. So, you know, I'm sure they have a sense of humor to deal with us. But ask them for help, because then they're like, oh my God, she's asking for help, or he's asking for help. We can actually help now. But yeah, they can't interfere without our permission. It's just law of the universe. So they're watching, they're waiting, but until you actually surrender and ask for help or pray, or, you know, nothing can happen. So do that. The next time you feel stuck on something, definitely do that. And then notice how that help comes and how quickly it comes. It's amazing. You know, people, it's miraculous. It's life-changing. So some of us are stubborn and we have to wait until we're in a puddle on our floor in tears and think it's the end of the world before we ask for help. And that's okay too. You know, you can do that. But try asking for help before you have a complete nervous breakdown, and just notice. Just notice it does come. Okay? Just trust me on that one. Alright, so I've gone to the Rumi Oracle. Rumi, oh, love Rumi. Okay. The lion and the deer. Look at all the beautiful colors in this card. Again, about creating. But the lion and the deer, it's about our gentle heart, our soft, gentle heart, and our sensitive, intuitive side. And the lion, the energy of passion and movement forward and determination and using your voice and saying what you need to say and speaking your truth. We need both. Okay? We can walk softly on the earth. We can be gentle. We can be kind. We can be unconditional love. We can be compassion. But that doesn't mean being a doormat. That doesn't mean not speaking your truth, or not using your will, or not living your life and living everyone else's agendas. No, the lion is about standing centered, strong, balanced, and in your power, but also in a gentle way. So we've got to combine those two energies instead of choosing one over the other. I think that's part of the problem in our earth right now, is we feel we need to choose one energy over the other. If in fact we can make peace with both of those energies inside of ourselves, we'll find peace within ourselves, and we'll probably have peace on earth. There's nothing wrong with that lion and that strength energy. We need it, okay? And very often, typically, you know, the feminine energy is associated with the nurturing and the gentle and the loving and the compassionate, and the men are like the lion and the driven and the forceful and the, you know, strength. And that's true, but we have that within ourselves as well that needs to be balanced, okay? And what's happened is in our world, sometimes we go into one polarity or the other, where somebody's only in their strength and can't find their softness, or somebody's only in their softness and can't find their strength. We need both. So right now, if you feel like your energy's been low, if you've been suffering from depression, if you've had trouble getting up and going and that kind of thing, you need more of that lion energy. You need more of that push, more of that strength, more of that will, more of that action. And if you've been the opposite, you've been working too much and in your head too much and just go, push, then you might need to stop and get quiet and still and go in and nurture that intuitive side. So just notice, because you can just tune into yourself and notice, do you feel in balance with those two parts of yourself? Or is one part getting more attention and more time and the other needs to be a little more nurtured and cultivated? So just notice that, because we're being asked to look at our balance between the two, and we're being asked to use both energies. They're both good. They're both positive. We need both of them. Okay? All right. So what card are we going to go to next? I think we're going to go to the Sears Tarot. And for those who are new on here too, I'm a fast talker. So we get through a lot of decks in a short time. You can catch the replay as well. It will be on Instagram if you hopped on midway or later. And the cool thing is you can fast forward through that as well to the relevant parts for you. All right. This is one of my favorite tarot decks lately, the Light Sears Tarot. I just love the illustrations in it. The Three of Swords. So yeah, I'm going to say this card does not look happy. Okay? Screaming, heart ripped apart, not happy. And this might be how some of us are feeling right now as we go into our third lockdown in the area of Ontario where I'm living. It's kind of like, yes, you know, it might feel like your guts are being ripped out or your heart's being ripped apart or you're just being squeezed to the max. But here's the thing. When you feel that way, when you feel like you want to scream your head off, or you're just like, you've had it and you're just like, you don't know what to do. You're so angry. Like I was talking to somebody the other day about this, about anger. When we feel anger, a lot of us want to get rid of it right away, or release it right away, or ignore it, or push it down right away, because we think, well, anger, I shouldn't be angry. Like I'm a kind, nurturing, intuitive person. Like what do I do with anger? It doesn't belong. Anger is a sign from your soul you're incredibly frustrated with something. Okay, so track your anger. When it happens, track it and find out, okay, what was the trigger? And once you find that, that will give you information as to what you need to do next. The anger is an energy. It's a very high energy. It's a good energy. In fact, after people go through a grieving process or a healing process, after a long depression, you know, psychologists will say once you get angry, they know you're on the mend. They know you're healing, because once you get angry, you're almost more than halfway through. Well, why is that? Well, anger is a really high energy to propel you forward. It's like getting that boost of energy. It's like spirit saying, here's a packet of energy to get off your butt and do that thing. But a lot of us get the anger and we're like, I don't know what to do and I can't do the thing and I'm really stuck and I'm going to take the anger and I'm going to put it in my body somewhere and store it away. You know, you do that enough times and then you start feeling really crappy. You get really depressed. You feel like, what's the use? You know, your life isn't even yours. You might as well just go whatever it is, you know? In truth, that anger is coming because it's like the spirit saying, look, you're triggered and you're really pissed off here. Use that creative fire and make a change. Even if it's a tiny change, change something. Because when you're having anger come, you need to make change. And you can't always change everything, because sometimes it's other people that are making you angry. You know, maybe your marriage is really difficult, okay? Maybe you can't just leave. Maybe you can't support yourself. Maybe you've got kids. Maybe there's other things to consider. But you might be able to make change within that structure, so at least you don't feel like you're losing your mind. So baby steps. It doesn't have to be big sweeping change, but sometimes it is. Sometimes people take that anger and they're like, that's it, and they completely reset everything. But it is an energy that's coming from spirit in order to propel us forward and get us over the ditch or out of the rut we're in, or unstuck. Okay, so if you feel stuck, you're going to probably be getting a lot of agitation and a lot of anger, because spirit's trying to give you that extra energy to help you move. So use it. Okay, and if you can't find something to use it with, then start working out. Go for a run, take up kickboxing, use it physically at least, rather than storing it in your body, because that's where we get things like really nasty diseases that happen over time. So anger isn't a bad thing. If you're experiencing it, use it. The reason why we think anger is bad is because typically this is what happens. We get angry, we ignore it, we stuff it away. We get angry, we ignore it, we stuff it away. Stuff it away, and then we get angry, someone triggers us, and then all that stored anger comes out like a big vomit storm of anger all over the person or whatever, and it doesn't go well. And then we reaffirm to ourselves, yeah, anger's bad, it hurts people and it ruins relationships. And look, this example A over here. Well, yeah, because you didn't use the anger in the way that it was meant to, and it all came out in one big violent storm. So use the energy, see it as fuel. Think of it as a video game, and that anger is like those little energy things that you collect for your character, right? Use it, okay? It's vitality, it's energy. Otherwise, you're going to be like this girl screaming her head off and just being like, and that's okay. Sometimes you might need to do that. You might need to rage a little bit, but use the energy, okay? Because if we all did that, we wouldn't be throwing our anger around on each other all the time. I mean, if you want to see a great example of that, you just have to read Facebook comments on any given day, because there's always someone that erupts their junk all over the place and then creates like oh, you know what I mean, right? I don't have to go there. All right, so we're going to we've got time for one more card. We're going to go to the Native Spirit deck, which is a new deck to me, and then we'll go to our angel cards to wrap it up. Native Spirit deck. I just cracked these ones open the other day. It was one of those conversations. Do I need to open this deck? Nah, I don't need to open another deck. Then I'm like, I'm opening this deck. Okay. So, Spirit of Air. Okay. Air represents the creator, Father Sky in Peru, they call it, or the Apus, the mountains that reach up into the air. The air is our mental thoughts, our capacity to think, and all of the things in our head. So the Spirit of Air is coming to us to ask us to look at our thoughts and just notice them, not to judge them. We have a lot of thoughts in our brain, okay? Like, that's why meditation is so frustrating for people. And it is for me, and I know I talk about meditation a lot, and some of you are probably like, God, if she says to meditate one more time, I want to punch her in the face. But I have a busy, active mind, so when I sit down to meditate, it's torture. And that's one of the reasons why I love Reiki so much. I'll go into a self-Reiki treatment, and that gets me in the zone and takes care of a lot of the chatter. But when you have a busy, active mind and you sit to meditate, your mind is just like a horde of toddlers, like la 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 la. And you have to sit and be patient and wait for it to run its course. That's why I love to go for a run or something like athletic and then meditate, because that takes care of a lot of the extra junk in my head. But the Spirit of Air is asking us to look at our mind and our thoughts and what's going on in our head. And as you declutter your house this spring, you might need to declutter your brain a little bit too, and that's okay. And so if you struggle with meditation like I used to, try a guided meditation. Do a workout and then meditate. Go for a walk. Meditate in the forest. Like, try to make it easy for yourself. It doesn't have to be torture. You can get creative with how you meditate. It doesn't mean you get a cushion and you sit in a room by yourself and you go into your mind and just scream at yourself the entire time. Nobody wants to do that, okay? So, also homework for the next 2 weeks. Find a cool, easy, fun way to meditate. And change your mind about what meditation is, okay? Find a new way. Find your way. Try it and see if you notice a difference. You don't have to follow anyone else's way. It's about you finding the way that works for you. But meditation is just that going within and just like allowing some of the thoughts to just, the extra ones, go, that you don't need. Otherwise you're like hoarding It's like hoarding stuff in your basement. You don't want to do that. You want to like have things come in your house and then also let things leave your house so you don't get buried alive in stuff. And it's the same with our thoughts, and it's the same with the stuff in our head. Okay? So that's your homework for the next couple weeks. So now I'm going to go to the angel cards that I usually close with. It's just become a thing, like being in trailers and reading cards. Why not, right? Combining all my love of all of my things. Okay, so we have a gold wing, a silver wing, and then a double circle one, which usually gives us a timeline on everything. So the silver wing is find new fertility of mind or body, which is what we already talked about, that creative energy, using the energy of spring, starting new things, reassessing old things, letting go of stuff, and really focusing on what we want. Improve your work and home balance is the message from the gold wing card. So as you're discarding things and reassessing things, really look at that balance, and even the balance of what I mentioned earlier about your balance with your intuition, and using that power, that force, and using the quieter, gentler sides of yourself, finding balance in that as well. The key is violet for psychic and spiritual development is sort of the tip or the key. So using the energy of purple, whether through meditation, or maybe surrounding yourself in that color. Maybe you've got clothes that are that color, or you've got some violet items in your home, or maybe it's a crystal that you connect with, but use that color, focus on it. That's really going to help expand your third eye and your intuitive center. All right, so I'm super excited to connect with you guys in 2 weeks and see all the changes that have been made, hopefully. And this spring energy, make the most of it. We're in lockdown again, which super sucks. Like, I don't even know what to say about that. Like, I'm self-employed, and so many of us with our own businesses, we're just really hanging in there. So I really do thank all of you for your support and just showing up for this and just loving this. And it's really like just made me so happy. And so I love all of you. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I will see you soon. Have a great Easter. And all the new people, thank you for coming. It was great to meet you. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.